Hello, welcome to another stream, which today is just a regular stream for once. Um, tomorrow will be uh, finally me and Sky beginning on Synergy, so at least I have news for that. But today is a little bit more of a serious one, and I'll get into what's going on in a second, um, yeah, um, but feels like I had something else to say. Goddamn, my mind. But yeah, tomorrow will be thing with Sky. Was there anything else? I've already forgotten. I love my brain. uh, but yeah, this one will be a bit more of a somewhat serious. Uh, there'll be other things at the end of the stream, but yeah, yeah. So today, I might as well explain what's going on. I'm going to be adding on to one of my videos that I did about um, a month ago, which is it's hard to be human. Um, yeah, so this video was to, be a sequel to, I should have had it up. I wasn't prepared enough. Um, which was a sequel to It's Okay to Be Human, this one. So that one was, the more positive of the two, but this one's on the darker themes. But I made some points in that video, and I acted, but I did not think and think about some of the things I said in that video. I'm like, well, because I was talking about one of the things. Yeah, again, I'll be saying this all again when I hit start recording. But one of the points I made was the duality of man. No one's perfect. And in that I mentioned even I sometimes have those darker thoughts, that could be, technically, racist or whatever. But technically, I'm doing it in the way that's not actually racist. Like, it's usually just really dark humor in my mind and really dark jokes. And I don't really mention that at any point during this from what I can remember. Um, so I want to fix that. I also want to fix, some other stuff. Like, I don't think I iterated enough that it was these are just, my opinions and, you know, um, you know, so everyone, has their own opinions. So I feel like there was a few things I missed since I just did it on the spot. I didn't really think about it seriously. Like I did think about it seriously, but I acted without thinking. When now I want to, do a new segment that I'll add on to the beginning, but still keep all of this because, I want my raw, um, like thoughts, to be seen, you know, you know, that unfiltered me, to be honest, but also, I also I didn't really think about all of it. I think thoroughly enough, so I want fix that because that's how I am as a person. I want to make certain the point comes across clearly. So we're adding on to that video because I feel like there's a lot that I could fix. So I'm going to fix it and, you know, reiterate some of those points that I feel like I didn't cover thoroughly enough. And, just reiterate it all in a new form because, I feel like I didn't do it proper justice, although I did do it proper justice, but it's kind of weird. Yet again, contradictions. People contradict themselves, people, can change their mind over time. Like, I've changed my mind in like a month, so, you know, you know, you know, I guess it's all just another valid point to, show, you know, it's hard to be human because, inevitably later you're gonna just contradict yourself yeah, yeah, but or something like, yeah, so, and I don't even know if I spoke about, hypocrisy of, how humans, can contradict themselves. So that's another thing I could probably add if it wasn't there already. I can't remember everything I said. I only remember generally, some of what I said. I do not have a great memory. Uh, and sometimes I have, a really great memory, and, boy. Anyway, let's begin and, actually get started. And then I'll do other things on the stream. Probably one of which is to, launch up Amori, and I have gone to the end of the game and seen the end of the game. But I kind of want, show that. I wonder how you get the other endings anyway. I haven't really watched. But yeah. But we'll get to that one thing at a time. Let's turn to uh, Gmod and let's begin the video, the new segment. And this isn't the first time I've added on to it because at the end of that one I added on the thing where it was like, oh, I totally forgot charity's a thing and probably would be important to that video since, covered many topics and stuff. But yeah. But yeah, let's begin. Hello, welcome to this video, which is It's Hard to Be Human, a sequel to It's Okay to Be Human video. Do consider checking that one out if you haven't seen it. But this is the other half of the equation, the technically more, negative half of, that video, basically the opposite, it was technically more positive, even though it did have some dark themes. But this is the sequel to cover things that I didn't cover in that video. And not to mention, this is also, this part of the recording is a new part that I'm adding on to the beginning of this video because I already recorded it, which I will show now. Like, I already recorded it, It's Hard to Be Human, 1 month ago. Well, a little over a month. But, on the 25th of, August, I recorded it to be, talk about things, but I feel like some of the things I didn't talk about enough, or some of the things, I didn't properly explain or thought about, because I sort of went into it without really properly thinking. I did think about it, obviously. I put a lot of thought into technically what I was saying, but also technically I feel like I missed some things. And one thing I think I missed out a bit is, this is, my opinions, these are my opinions. You don't have to, agree with all my opinions. Just, I want to, get out my thoughts, and, I feel like, the me from a month ago, it's still, relatively the same, but, one thing with humans is they always tend to contradict themselves, which, I guess this part of the video is, technically contradicting, why I set up here, but, yeah, but also, fitting in the themes of it. But yeah, so you will hear a whole intro again when it gets to the original. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. Mainly because that part will cover some of the darker themes, but yeah, again, I'll iterate something from not future me, past me. I don't know why I would say future when this was recorded in the past. Anyway, this is kind of a mess if you can't tell. This is messy, literally feeding into, it's hard to be human, sometimes, things are easy, but also things can be hard, and, you could technically, contradict yourself. So, you can be a hypocrite because, you may change your mind over time, like how I changed my mind over, a month. Not that much, but, I want to talk about some of the things from this video again here at the beginning before, this other part begins so that I get my thoughts all out and clearly. So sorry if this is unclear, messy, and whatever, but it really fits to, it's hard to be human and it's hard to make a video like this because, I want it to, have meaning. I want it to, help. Yeah, again, part of this video is just to be kind, to, face your fears, which will be mainly in this part, uh, except for like the end part, because I actually had to add something on in the last few minutes of the video since I forgot to bring it up when I did this part, which was, I brought up charity, which, is, an important thing to, the discussion of, mental health and, all the stuff that if you really do want to help out people who, are actually struggling, charity is the best way. And it was unfortunate that I didn't even mention it to, the last, like 4 minutes of the video. So at least now it's, at least in the first, 6, 7 minutes, whatever mark. So at least this time, I can fix some of the mistakes, and also, iterate on things. But yeah. Yeah, again, sorry that this is a whole mess of a video, but it really does iterate. It's hard to be human, and there's going to be a bit to this. But anyway, let's talk about some of the things I want to talk about in this segment, which is one. Yeah, again, these are my opinions, so yeah, like how at one point, I mentioned about feminists and how the vocal minority is ruining it for the majority because now, the concept of, feminists is for, equal rights for females, but, it hasn't exactly worked out to, how actual feminists probably wanted to work out, which is, equal rights, where, it's kind of turned into, with the vocal minority, like a man hating thing, like, like just blame men for every single problem when in general it's usually all of humanity's fault. Like, no one is blameless, we're all technically a part of, the problems of the world, whether it be, global warming or, other things, we're all technically, a part of the problem, we all make mistakes. No one can be perfect, but, you just have to try your best to be the best person you can be, like within, the circumstances. So, yeah, just try to be your best, but yeah. So it's not that, I it's not like I hate, feminists. It's, that and yeah, again, you have zero context to what I'm saying because it all happens, later in the video. But uh so that's another thing that makes this messy. That to have the context of what I said, you have to watch the video. So yeah, I mean, YouTube wise, it helps the algorithm, I guess. But also like from trying to explain things with zero context is like um makes this part of the video more messy. But basically, what I said was like, feminists, I like the idea, but the actual, you know, vocal minorities ruining it. I can't speak. Ruining it for the majority. It's sometimes that a vocal minority that proves to be problematic. You know the ones that are just being men haters. Just ruins it for the ones that actually want proper change, good change, actual stuff like equal pay and you know other things. At least at this point, you know rights are usually equal, but there's always stuff like power struggles with men always seem to have the higher positions rather than females. And you know yeah yeah, so it's like that um line from Balin Skull and Star Wars and Ahsoka, with the Jedi. The concept of the Jedi is they're peacekeepers and keep the galaxy in order and balance. But in reality, the Jedi had become corrupt and no longer were doing the thing they were originally supposed to do, and had kind of become manipulated by groups like the Senate and no longer were helping the people out. So yeah. So yeah. Um yeah. So yeah, you know, that same concept applies, to real life. The concept of, feminism is good. The reality is that it's ruined by, a vocal minority, that are proving to be problematic to the courts. You know, if it was, if the concept was actually to, go forward, it actually would, get somewhere. You know, but unfortunately, as things are, feminists, like, the concept is just dead in the water. And like, you know not where it needs to be, like, ideally for those who actually want it or, need it, you know, those who have, suffered inequality because of it, like, so yeah, yeah, so yeah, like, I'm a male, obviously, but, I believe in the concept of, feminism rather than, the vocal minority that's kind of ruining it for, the majority. Because, that there should be more equality, there probably should be, equal split of, females and males in, positions of power, like, I guess, government or whatever, if, that was more of a reality, things would be more fair, you know. It's a more balanced thing because then you can have both sides, Yeah, you can have, males and females, you have both sides to see clearly, you know, which I may mention this since I figure I might talk about it um, 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 the referendum thing for Australia since I'm Australian um so that there's a thing going on with Australia, if you don't know, where we're going to change I believe the constitution to um for so there's indigenous representation in parliament and government whatever, and I'm just gonna say that I'm a yes because I feel like, yeah, again with what I just said, you need both sides to you know be equal. So I'm definitely a yes because I feel like having the indigenous people of Australia as a part of constitution, parliament, government, whatever, is a good thing that in the long term, you know, it'll do more good than harm. Like I don't see how it could be bad. Like I don't see how it could be bad in any way. Like from my perspective, you know, there should be representation, you know, an argument is more balanced if there's both perspectives, I, this is why I'm like someone who, sits more in the middle technically, because I can see, both sides of a thing for most cases. But this is one of those cases where I'm like heavy yes, like I don't see why you wouldn't, because if you just if no wins, and I don't know when the thing is, when the votes are happening. I should probably know that because yeah, again, I have to vote, uh, uh, but, but from my perspective, like no is like if no wins, it's only delaying the inevitable. Like, eventually, there needs to be more representation. It has to happen, You know, why wouldn't you do it? Like, that's just like kind of backwards thinking not to have, you know, equal representation, you know, you know, as far as I see it for this case, I'm a definite yes because if no wins somehow, you know, it only delays the inevitable. Like, it's going to happen sooner or later. The, if it doesn't happen now, 10 years, maybe even shorter, 5, 10 years, latest, I would say 20 years, this will probably happen again. And most likely by then, hopefully, if it happens to be no now, like, I don't see any way that will be no, but, if it is no now, um, then it'll most likely get a yes, later down the track, It, you're only delaying the inevitable, you know, by trying to fight some battles, So, and from my perspective, I can't understand a no anyway, but yeah. So, yeah, sorry to bring technically politics into this, but I wanted to bring it up since, most of the time I can see both perspectives, but for this case, I don't see how there would be any benefit in saying no. Like, it only delays the inevitable. Like, it only, delays what will happen. But most of the time, I'm like, as far as I see it, politics, that there's, two parties, which is Australian politics is a bit more weird, and even I don't know everything. Like, I don't care, like, enough about politics, like, so I'm no expert, but as far as I see it, both sides are just equal in my mind, like, unless you do something particularly that make me dislike you and possibly like not vote with you. I don't care, like, between, what are the two parties, uh, um, uh, because one's like LMP and the other one's like I forget. There, that helps. So yeah, one's oh yeah, Labour, um, um, then there's the coalition, the Liberal Party, and yeah. See, I don't really care. Oh yeah, and then there's the Greens, One Nation, which I personally don't really like because oh god, Pauline Hanson. Uh, yeah, I forgot about there's Jackie Glanby. I forget about her. Like, I'm pretty sure it's her. Yeah, I have no idea who she is and what she does. All I know is I probably rank it lower. Like, who are some of these people? I don't know these people. This just shows how much I really don't care. But yeah, but yeah, but yeah, the Australian politics are whack, and I don't really care because all I see is, people arguing, like, like every time I see like politics on the news, it's just all of them arguing. Like, I never see them have a civil conversation. They're just arguing. Like, grow up. You're adults. Like, you're like 50, 60 year olds. Like, like, what's happened to, civil discussions, and that applies to the internet too. Like, what happened to, just having a, conversation without it becoming an argument? Like, that's something I definitely did not cover in the original video is what happened to, just having a discussion without an argument. Like, what happened? Like, how has humanity gone to this point and, somehow not fallen apart? Because, as far as I see it, the government is completely like, you guys are just arguing all the time. Like, what the hell is going on? And then you look at the internet, it's the same thing. Like, oh my lord, what's happened to humanity? How are we not dead yet? Like, obviously, someone's doing their job properly somewhere, otherwise, we would be probably all dead. And by evolution, standpoint, probably some of humanity, should be dead, like, if it came to, life or death survival situation, I feel like there would be a lot of people in this, modern day that would be dead otherwise. And I'd definitely be one of those people. I'd probably be dead if it wasn't for, modern, technology and, stuff and medicine and whatever, like, and stuff, you know, like, I feel like with how I am as a person right now, I would not be able to survive out in the wild, I would be dead and, food for some, you know, animal or something, you know. I'd probably be eaten by a crocodile, I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, you know, yeah, this is supposed to be a discussion, so please, this is something I didn't even mention in the original. I'm finding a lot of flaws in my original thing, is that in the comments, please have a civil discussion. So yeah, please, um, keep it civil, keep it, you know, reasonable, so, yeah, um, yeah, so keep it reasonable, keep it civil, you know, but, uh, yeah, but yeah, we should be able to just have a discussion without arguing. And that's all I see with politics. So I don't really care. I just vote whichever way because I don't care. Like, as long as I'm alive, I don't care. like, like, I don't really, care enough about politics, you know, give an opinion because, yeah, again, for most cases, I'm going to be, middle of the road. I'm going to see things from both perspectives, I'm going to try and look at things, evenly. But when I do actually have an opinion, like representation or, equality, that's something I definitely will support, you know, you know, good proper rights, like rights for, trans people. Although this is one of my more potentially, um, you know, I guess potentially divisive opinions. But yeah, again, as I iterated in the beginning of the video, yeah, again, this is just my opinion, especially for this bit. But I think, you know, uh, I mentioned this in this part of the video, so I won't cover in detail again because I do mention it later on in the video. But with the trans thing, with one of the topics with trans rights is bathroom usage, because there's definitely some people that would be uncomfortable, if a man was, become, female, for example. Like some females would probably be, uncomfortable with, seeing, genitalia of a man if, if the man who, became a woman, hasn't lost their junk yet. So, um, that they would be, uncomfortable. They probably won't say anything, but nonetheless, they're uncomfortable. So I can see the point of not that, you know, not using the male bathroom. I have a, third option sort of thing where there's a specific bathroom for non-gender. Like it could be technically, male or female. So hopefully it can reduce, the thing with, um, that argument on, transgender. That's, which bathroom should they use. So giving a middle of the road, thing with a third bathroom that has no clear gender, it's absolutely equal, so that it's less of, a problem. That means technically anyone can use it, you know. So that's, it's middle of the road, it's, maybe not the best solution, but it's a good solution. Like, middle of the road, gender neutral bathroom, you know, it's a middle of the road thing that I think I heard it from my dad or something. Like, my dad, I usually don't bring up, but, some of his opinions are pretty strong. Some that I probably won't agree with myself, but you know, you know, that's one thing I do agree with is, sometimes there needs to be a middle of the road option, and having a gender neutral bathroom would be perfect to solve that and probably any other problems really, like not just the stuff with transgender but other stuff. Uh, I see you. I don't know why there hasn't been a lot of chat today. It's just, I guess it's just one of these days. Yeah, again, I'm live streaming this, so yeah. For those watching the video later, uh, yeah. But uh, uh, yeah. But yeah, I think a middle of the road option works well. It makes I think it could make everyone happy. Like, so yeah. Um yeah, I'm definitely one of those people who's like trying to think of something that compromises between, the two sides of the argument. Like, yeah, again, and for most cases, I'm middle of the road. Like, I usually won't have a strong opinion one way or the other, except for when it comes to, you know, representation, equal rights stuff. That's, I'm obviously strong supporter for, should be, it should be better, things need to be more fair, more equal, but also due to my nature that I'm in the middle, like, I also, do have, opinions, that are more middle of the road, So even though, I'm a supporter of that, but, I'm also in the middle of the road. So, yeah. I guess I'm a weird mix of a person, I can see some things some ways and some things a completely different way. Like, I am truthfully an anomaly. You'll never truthfully know what I think unless I say it myself. And even if I say, I always technically, could potentially see the other side, But yeah, that's just my middle of the road explanation, like not explanation, but solution. And I mention it more later. Yeah, again, I'm adding this on to the beginning, and it'll be clear when this one begins. But yeah, uh, yeah. Anyway, what's my next point? Next point is, oh yeah, the duality of man. So one of the things I was talking about in this thing, which, yeah, again, I want to keep it because it shows, my raw, unfiltered opinions from, about a month ago. But when I originally recorded this, um, but, I was talking about the duality of man. So, how there's both, good and bad in a person. No one's perfect. And we shouldn't hold ourselves up to, higher standards because, that's just going to hurt more than help. Sometimes trying to hold yourself to higher standards will get you nowhere. It can be self-destructive, which I guess I didn't really talk about. Yeah, again, another thing I didn't really talk about is, trying to hold yourself to higher standards will only get you like nowhere. Like sometimes you just got, do the things as best as you can, and even though it may not technically be the best way, you're doing it your way. So, at least do it and try to do it and whatever. Like, as long as you do the thing, hopefully it works out. Whatever the thing may be, I don't know. Um, but one of the things is, um, I mentioned, with, me being someone who looks into myself, looks into my own mind and, knows myself pretty well. I know that sometimes I do have, darker thoughts, thoughts that could be seen as, racist or whatever. But one thing that I forgot to, mention with that, in the original one when I record this originally is, you know, it's, dark humor that I think is going too far. And the fact that I choose not to say it, I think, says a lot, actions, actions, as the saying goes, actions say more than words, So my choice and action to choose to not say it speaks more to it than, if I was to actually, say it, because if I were to say it, that shows I clearly don't care. Like, but the fact that I choose not to say, my darker thoughts, shows that I have, restraint and control and, will, you know, um, try to be my best, I suppose, in my own way. Yeah, again, you can't, technically be perfect, but you can be the best of you. You can be the best version of yourself, if you get what I mean. Just be the best of you. So, yeah. So, even though, I do have those darker thoughts at times, like, obviously, like, with what I've said earlier, I'm not that kind of person to be, mean or, you know, uh, or like go against, people, but you can't help but, have those darker thoughts every now and then because, people, well, be people, like always you can think of the opposite, even though you choose to, go down one path, like, obviously, I don't want to be racist, I don't want to be, sexist, I don't want to be whatever, I don't want to be negative towards people, but, you will always have that small part of you that will be the complete opposite, that doesn't agree with the majority of you, you know, that small piece that'll be like that little devil on your shoulder that's like, oh, but this is a funny thing that you should say, or or would be funny if it happened. I'm like, devil part of me? No, this is bad. This is probably going too far in that direction, probably would be actually, racist or whatever, So, everything has balance, It's, you know, you can't technically escape it, but it's there. So, I feel like I want to iterate that because, I feel like since I didn't really properly talk about like within this segment, which yeah again will technically happen later in the video, but not in the live stream obviously that this was recorded on, but yeah, I just want to iterate it because that the this part, may paint me as, like I don't care when I do care, and it's obvious that I care because I talked about all these things for an hour and a half. So, obviously I do care. Just, I felt like since I didn't properly talk about some things, I acted more than thought, you know, that I don't care when obviously I acted on all of this because I did care. So, so yeah. So this one, this new part is obviously the more thoughtful one where this is more like me acting, like I've got to do this. If I don't do it, it if I never do it, it won't help anyone. So that there's nothing wrong in, acting like how this is the part of me, that acted on the thought to do this video. But sometimes you need to step back and just think for a second. Sometimes you just need to think for a second. Not every situation can be rushed, and yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is, hypocrisy of, people, since, the mind's always changing, people can, be technically hypocrites because their mind changes over time, or some people are just actual, like, hypocrites and, double standards and all that. So, yeah, it's not easy when, your mind is always at odds ends, There's one part of you that wants to go one way, but there's one part of you that wants to go the other way, and over time you're changing and having different experiences. So, yeah, there's no perfect way to be human, because it's hard to be human, you know, you have so many, different thoughts, ideas, experiences that, make you, like, there's no other you than you. And yeah, even in a small amount of time, I like I felt the need to, change my mind and return to this to add a new section because I felt like I didn't talk about things enough in, this segment that I need to cover it. So yeah. So yeah, yeah. Um um yeah. Um but sorry, my mind just bleh. As you can see, my mind doesn't always fully work. Um, but yeah, but you know, being human, it's hard. There's no perfect way. No one's perfect, but there's probably some things you probably should never do, like being hypocritical, yeah, whatever, like if you contradict yourself, it can happen. Those people that actively do it can be a bit annoying, but you know, some people just be that way and have double standards and be technically, you know, very, hypocritical. But yeah, uh, you can't really do anything. Some people, will have personalities that you just don't like, and there's nothing really you can do. Like, and technically, some of those people, that they're fine. You know, they probably had life experiences that led them to being that way. Like some guy that I met on VR chat once. I think I may have brought up this story in this thing, so sorry if I am repeating a story that will technically be later in the video. But um, that but there was this guy in VR chat. His name was like Corporal something. I forget. Um, but he seemed to get aggressive. If any negative word was thrown his way, like he seemed to have some potential anger sort of issues, sort of. Like he wasn't the angriest person I've ever seen. Like, there's definitely way worse, but he definitely seemed to be, someone who struggled with, that, like, so his untrusting of, basically everyone. Like, if anyone, says negative words towards him, he immediately, snaps. Like, he immediately, like, starts, firing back, and, yeah, like, so, so yeah, I, I, being a person, that never really swears, was able to, easily have a conversation with him and see, like, why he was that way. And it definitely seems like he is one to always assume the worst from what he said himself. Like, he always assumes the worst. Which I don't know how you get to that point where you automatically assume like everything is technically the worst and not like how it was actually being said, because my friend, Kim, was just joking towards them, like, 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 doing the no, I can't say it, YouTube, typing it should be fine. But basically doing, this meme, the, no, you know, thing to him, but he didn't even realize it was a joke. Like that was another thing that I asked him about. Like, he didn't even realize like it was some, joke or meme. Like, this big meme that's, everywhere on the internet. He didn't even pick up on it, because somehow he had avoided it. Which is, crazy, but I guess not impossible, but still crazy, So, it's, because, yeah, it's just weird, but yeah, seeing, like, hearing, what I had to say, it was interesting that, kind of get into the depths of, someone's mind who works like that is so, doesn't work well with any negativity, that they just snap back immediately. Like, it's kind of weird, but also interesting, and yeah. But yeah, it's like just interesting, I guess. But yeah, there's many different types of people, and I'd even, get to know how he even got to that point, because obviously I only just met them on the spot in VR chat, so obviously I wasn't going to ask them, their whole life story, since, I just met them. But, you know, yeah, people can end up like that or in other negative ways because of negative life experience and stuff. So sometimes you have to have, empathy or sympathy, towards them, because, you have no idea what's happened to, some of these, people, you have no idea what they've been through, and yeah. Um, yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah, so you can't get along with everyone, but there's a certain point where some actions cross lines that probably shouldn't be crossed, Like, it's hard to be human, but there's certain things that crossed lines that probably shouldn't be crossed. Like, stuff like, you know, grooming a child, that's pretty bad. Um, or, other stuff, other things that go way too far that, you know, illegal probably for, probably very just reasons that there's some lines you don't cross, like eventually there's some things that just go too far, there's some things that under any and all circumstances you should not do, like that there's just certain things that should never be done. And yeah, obviously, I've never done anything like that. The worst I've done, yeah, again, mentioned my mistakes in It's Okay to Be Human video. Like, that was a part of the point of that video, was to show my mistakes, and I pretty soon I'll mention them in, this segment once I, eventually get to it. Which, seeing that I've been speaking for an hour, again, obviously I have a lot to say, both here in this new iteration and, the original iteration. But I lost my train of thought. God damn it. What was I saying? Something about lines too far. What was I going to say? God damn it. Maybe just talking about it again will help me retract my mind. So hopefully I think about it by just talking. Again, about the same thing that I just talked about. But yeah, some lines are too far. Obviously, yeah, again, I haven't done anything. That's what I said before. And then I'm just retracing my steps here. God damn, my mind blanking. But yeah, obviously I haven't done, anything bad, but the worst thing I did, oh yeah, I was going to talk about my mistakes, which I obviously mentioned in the original video and in, that segment, which you'll see after this segment. Even though I'll do the whole intro again, that's fun. I'm not going to cut it out because there's some important stuff in the intro, important to that section. But yeah, my mistakes as a person is that I've failed, my friends. I left my friends, as I mentioned before, in, three different ways. One was, I guess, just not being wise enough, and, I should have, been friends with, Elsie while still being friends with, Daniel. You can have multiple friends. I don't know how, you know, you know, uh, you know, I would have been 10 years old. Me didn't think of this, nor like, Elsie, like, but I guess, yeah, mainly my fault, but also, like, if even one of us just had, critical thinking, you know, could have went better. But yeah, again, I was a child, so obviously children aren't always capable of, critical thinking, even though that's not always true, but I'm just saying that generally children won't be as smart as someone who has lived through life and had experiences and stuff. But yeah, definitely, somewhat, regretful of leaving her as a friend. Hopefully, she did fine in the rest of her life, but yeah, probably could have, done more. But here's what it is. The second one being impatience with Joker, which was my, a friend on Among Us. I've mentioned this before. And yeah, again, actually was on, Among Us the game. I know as much as a joke it may seem, you know, it happened. So yeah. So yeah. Least regretful of leaving Joker, but still could have done it a bit better. And my most regretful one is X Gene. I really regret failing X Gene because they obviously were having mental stuff, mental problems, and I should have supported them, but I couldn't even realize I was having my own at the time. So I just couldn't see it clearly that I wasn't ready to face reality just yet. So, yeah. It unfortunately led to the byproduct that I failed X Gene. And I hope one day by chance that somehow, I, you know, meet them again on VR chat, but the chances are slim as hell. So, uh, yeah, it sucks. But if I do ever see them again, I definitely want to say sorry in person. But the best I can do is have it in video format and hope that, this video, gets to, you know, X Gene or Elsie or Joker to just say, I'm sorry. So even if I do never get to say in person, because yeah, again, I haven't had contact with these people in, you know, years. One, like, particularly Elsie, it's been, basically a decade, you know, so yeah, you know, hopefully this at least gets to them, to say that I'm sorry. But yeah, not to mention my other mistake that I also mentioned is, um, you know, the incident when I was in grade four and was, you know, kind of sexist, but since yeah, again I was a child, you know, um, it was the typical uh, boy sexism where it's like I don't want to be a girl, like that sort of thing where it's like since you're young you don't fully yet understand how everything works and how females work, and you don't know a lot as a kid. Yeah, yeah, and two things that are missing from kids: critical thinking and knowledge. Um, yeah, so I was like, didn't want to be, technically a girl, so at that time, this time, after, having a dream where I was a literal female, I think my mind has definitely changed on that a bit because I literally, recently released Rebecca, which was, me putting that dream into a video format so that it could exist and have a narrative structure. But yeah, but yeah, obviously now I'm like more fully like, yeah, I could be a girl, I guess. Probably won't actually change into a girl, but I'm more open minded to it, than I was back when I was, 10. So, but yeah. So yeah, they were calling me Sabrina, which yeah, again my name's Sebastian, so relatively similar name, but the more female version of the name, I suppose. Even though names are just names, technically, you know, every name would technically not have a gender associated to it. Just it sort of works out that some names seem to be more one gender than the other somehow, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I made the mistake of you know reacting against the bullying in that situation and accidentally kicked a friend, and you know uh you know I should have been smarter, but yeah, I was 10, so kids be kids, so yeah, it's just one of those unfortunate mistakes that you know it happened. It's history. I can't really change things. And then there was the mistake that led to the creation of this video, which I do mention it in this part. So yeah, again, want to cover it briefly, but it's um, a bit more of a darker thing. So this is a time to reiterate a point that will technically be iterated later, is that this video will have darker themes, but I implore you to, watch through the whole video because, you'll never beat your fears if you don't face your fears. So please do continue to watch the video. You know, because even though there are darker themes, I think it's best if you actually watch the video the whole way to see what I have to say. But yeah, but yeah, the mistake that led me to this is that late at night, it was like 1 a.m., I was in bed, I was, basically about to sleep. I was just, just chilling on my phone, watching one last, video before going to, sleep. Like I was just chilling, relaxing. You know, it's dead of night. I've turned off my computer. I turned off my light. You know, basically I was, ready to, head to sleep. Like basically after, finishing the video, if not like one extra video afterwards. But then I started hearing something in the distance, crying and like sobbing and like someone speaking like only faintly at first. At first, like, since it's like down night, it's like, at first it's like, wait, what's going on? Like, you start to ask, go through questions asking, what's going on, like, you know, the questions, start to trickle into your mind. But, yeah, uh, eventually, it starts to get closer and closer, so I like, stop what I'm doing, you know, you know, to listen in to what's, going on and, I hear, the crying and like it was a lady like speaking to herself. I couldn't exactly tell whatever she was saying, like, and eventually it, gets loud enough that I can tell it's like somewhere, outside, either like on my side of the street or the other side of the street. I couldn't tell because yeah, again, I was like lying in bed, so yeah. But I felt like extremely like, you know, guilty afterwards because like one of the things is like, should I call someone? Should I, call, like some of them to, help? Like what should I do? Like it's like, you know, past midnight, I you know, don't particularly, you know, want to like disturb, my parents because yeah, again, I live with my parents, I'm surprised it didn't wake them up. Um, like the crying and all that didn't wake them up. But yeah, but I was like, should I call someone? Like, but I was just lost on what to do in that moment. Eventually, like it gets she passed by, and it gets fainter and fainter till no longer I can hear her. I'm like I felt guilty for like not doing anything. Like I probably should have done something, like called someone and done something, but I didn't do anything. So that's definitely a regret and arguably one of my mistakes. And yeah, it's not fun, you know, hearing someone in pain and you could do something, but you know, like like yeah, again, it was like nighttime, so I didn't know what to do, and yeah, but definitely next time, hopefully, I'll be more prepared to do something. But yeah, it just sucks, and yeah, um, yeah, it's one of my mistakes. And the reason why I'm making this video. And that's why, that this one, was a lot closer to when it happened. Like, I did this more on the spot, like, that this was, like, only, like, a few days, like, after it happened, where, now it's been, a month since, it happened, so I have no idea what's, happened to that lady, it's been almost, a month and a half, you know, it's been definitely a significant amount of time. So I don't know what happened to that lady. Hopefully she's, doing well. But you never know. You never know. Some things remain a mystery. Like the mystery of, like, if my friend, Tricky said I've talked about before, is dead or alive. I hope they're fine, I hope they're doing well, but you can't know some things, You can't know some things, and that's unfortunate, and yeah. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah. I think this will do for the new bits that I want to add on to It's Hard to Be Human. Obviously, this shows that, it's hard to be human. There's so many contradictions and all that. And, this version, was the version where I thought about things and, tried to cover it with, more thought behind it. Not that I didn't think the first time, just, I don't think, I put enough thought into this version, which yeah, again will be part of the video, so this will be like 3 hour video. But yeah. So yeah. I'll let past me, I guess, do the talking now for the video. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue on with whatever I do for the rest of this stream. But yeah. But yeah, just be kind, be good people, Just be good, You don't have to be perfect, just be kind. Don't argue with, like, people. It never results in anything, Have a constructive argument, not argument. But yeah. Yeah. I think that's everything I talked about, duality of, people, people have good and bad, people can be hypocritical, I talked about a lot of things, and still have a lot to talk about in that other segment that you're about to see in a second, but, but yeah, just be kind. If you want to help out people, charity is probably the best way, Just be kind. It's hard to be human, but we can make it through together. And that there's definitely some things that do cross lines, but if you put in the effort, if you have crossed a red line and you realize that later in life and want to make up for that horrible, like gross mistake, like if you went past the red line and later you sees that as a mistake and wants to fix it, put in your full genuine effort, because people can redeem themselves if they put their effort into it. You know, you know, yeah, like if I ever make a mistake, I'm pretty certain later me will, try and put in the effort and, to, fixing the mistake, And obviously, with, the mistakes I've made so far in my life, it's taught me valuable lessons, and I never want to repeat those mistakes, and, want to be better, I want to be strong, and, and be better, but yeah, I think that's, enough, for this bit. And yeah, again, this is just my opinion. You can have your own opinions, obviously. Just try and, understand, where I'm coming from. Like, have understanding of, like, how people get to a point. Like, people who don't just start off as bad people. Like, there's usually events that lead up to that. Like, a baby, hasn't done anything wrong. Like, they're just, living through life. Whatever leads them to, be, a criminal or whatever, is because of whatever happens in their life. So, don't just blame people for doing something wrong, like, on its own, like, make certain they learn from, the mistake or whatever, and also relies upon them, sometimes it takes a person themselves to actually put in the effort to learn from the mistake and become, a better person. And yeah. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think I'll end this segment, so I'll leave it back to, past me, and yeah. So yeah. But thank you if you have watched this far. I know there's still, going to be, an hour and a half to go in the video. But thank you if you have made it, this far. And yeah, thank you if you do watch through it all. I don't even know if I said there. Well, I probably, did say, but not in this way, um, you know, watching something that was, this long, because it wasn't as long as it was back then than it is now because of this new segment. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and yeah, see you all, I guess, next time. And yeah, leaving up to past me now. Take it away, I guess, past me. I am now going to, stop the recording. Let it go back to Gmod one last time. That way it should be a more seamless transition between it. Anyway, peace. And yeah, back to past me now. Alright, that was long. Longer than I expected. But yeah, That's longer than I expected. But yeah, yeah. Uh, Sorry, that was a lot of speaking. I just need a break for like a minute after all that talking. Oh man, okay. Whew. Sorry, I needed that moment. But let me switch games. Alright. As you can see, I beat a Mori. Because I got the good ending. Obviously, spoilers. I kind of want to, do it on the thing. I'm just quickly doing something. And then we'll show off the ending, but yeah, spoiler warning. Um, okay, that's fine. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Alright. Oh, I can save without them there. Erased them. I also raised them. This has been the most disjointed, like, play through of, like, a Mori on stream ever, like, whenever it was, like, let me check, because I've only shown Amori on the live stream, like, a few times, once, 5 days ago, I showed, how far I've gotten, which that was just before Humphrey, goddamn Humphrey. Humphrey was challenging, and then 10 days ago, it looks like, goddamn app blocker. Anyway, not app blocker, but like, oh, 11 days ago, my mistake. Just it said, you know, 10 there, but obviously it didn't update. Yeah, like, yeah, 11 days ago I was at the beginning of the game. Yesterday is like, was it yesterday or was it the day before? No, it was yesterday, I think. Actually, the way I would be able to tell is, oh, never mind. Even more wrong. It was not even yesterday. It was the on the 3rd. Not to mention it was, you know, at, you know, past midnight. So yeah. So technically it was almost completed on the Monday, because that would be Monday into Tuesday. So basically I completed the game on Monday. Essentially, almost. Not quite, because obviously it took 37 minutes afterwards, but, you know, basically it was in the ballpark of being completed on the 2nd, like. So the fact that this is like I'm like me playing it after I had only like played like an hour of it. Like, how much did I, you know, play of it? Didn't mean to click on that. 44 minutes, yeah. So yeah, basically from the 24th until basically almost essentially a week. Because probably start on the 23rd technically, but basically almost essentially a week. Well, like a week and a bit, but yeah. I do games fast. And to be fair, I was certainly, taking my time with it. Seeing that, my playtime is at 36 hours. Which, supposedly it's only supposed to be, 20 something hours. So, it took 10 extra hours for me to do it. I took my time and yet still beat it in a week. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on this. But the actual playthrough will begin not on Saturday, but on Sunday. So on Sunday, we shall begin. But yeah, again, spoilers one last time. But yeah, this is technically being the most disjointed experience of Amori. It's alright, Sonny. You can do it. But yeah. Oh yeah, I have to walk now. It's me. It's me. Yo. Hey, Amori. What will Orange do? Yeah, I named the character Orange instead of Sunny. Oh wait, I use the skills. Oh. time to use the big heal, which is to remember the friend's words. Now it slowly gets harder. Also, calm down, it's just OP in this part. Well, kind of OP, not OP. Alright. Wow. Encore time. Alright. Oh, that was a hurt. Oh. Alright. No dying today. Alright. Ugh. Alright. Just gotta survive. Alright, I should first do that. Oh, this is about to be it. Yep, it's time. Well, once he stabs me enough. I stabbed him 37 times in the chest. 28 stab wounds. I am dead, bro. It's what was intended. The faint light. Do you want to continue? Yes. Now it's time. It's time. Sonny is ready. This is no longer a fight. It's a play. That's a good line. I should use that when I do Michael going through this. It's not fight anymore, it's a play. Little baby. Also, he's born in July, and it's like he's the baby of the group. I do, bro. I'm a July born myself, and that's not how it worked. You know, here, because the school, in Australia, it's because the first half of the year, like one half of the year group is people born from January to June, but it's in 2003 for my like my grade level that I was a part of. Otherwise, the other half of the grade was 2002, born people from July to December. So being a July born meant that I was one of the oldest, if not the oldest, in any given class. So yeah. Yeah, it's not how it works here, so in my eyes, Sunny is not the baby of the group. Amori is gone. The door. Alright. Through the door. How painful would it be to cry with one eye? Like, how would it be like to cry? Could you cry out of your other eye if it's gone? I guess questions that will never be answered, I suppose. And I love how, one of the things is Simon will just refuse to do the bad ending because I kind of already went down the good path. Like, he'll shake his head, like, look at this. It's like, nah, I'm not going through that door. Because I'm pretty certain that's to, like, the bad ending. Kinda sucks that I can't get it, though. Because I don't want to play again just to get to the same point. now it's the end. Where is it? Well, that's the after credits thing, which is for the true ending, which I did get, yeah. Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. And smell the ashes. Right. And now it's the boy, Basil. And that is that. The most weirdest playthrough of Amori. Only showing like bits and pieces over a few streams. The actual proper full one, yeah, again, as Michael, will begin Sunday. Oh man. It's a good game. But yeah, I think though maybe it for stream tomorrow. Obviously, me and Sky will finally begin synergy. Um, even though that was supposed to, happen like a week ago, but uh, he needed to own Half-Life 2, which sucks. Even though you can run it using Half-Life 2 Episode 2. But yeah, just kind of sucks. That to be delayed for no real reason. But yeah, it'll be tomorrow. And then on the weekend, obviously, more of Micah and Jimmy. And obviously on Sunday, beginning uh, a Mori playthrough. So yeah, finally. But yeah, for now, I think that'll be it for the stream because I don't have anything else planned, and yeah. So yeah, that'll be it because there's nothing else I probably will play for today. Um, yeah, so that'll do it. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you if you subscribed. Uh, yeah, check out Sky. We do stuff frequently together. And yeah, that'll be it till tomorrow with, Half-Life 2 being done through a synergy with Sky. So that'll be Michael and Richard, finally. Michael and Richard. It's been a long time. In fact, let me double check something real quick. I am pretty certain that other than the Michael and Richard stream from like 8 days ago, which was technically, a Michael and Richard thing. I think I could be wrong, but I think I'm just checking. Yeah, so far in the time I have been streaming on YouTube over the last 3 months, I have not done, an actual series long thing with Michael and Richard other than that one off thing. And probably Richard has appeared in a few others, but this would be the first one in over 3 months. Jesus Christ. That's it's been a while. It's been a while. But yeah, that'll be it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you if you subscribed, and yeah, be back with Michael and Richard tomorrow, as long as nothing else goes wrong. Hopefully it'll be fine. Hopefully everything works. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Because it'd be pretty anticlimactic if it, after the delay for it to, everything to not work, like Sky to buy Half-Life 2 and we can't even do it. That'd be pretty anticlimactic. Anticlimactic. Quite an anticlimax after what you've just survived. Literally that one G-Man line. Anyway, thank you all, and peace until tomorrow. Hopefully. Hopefully.